New seasons, new gear. Show the world what it means to be a fan in 100% authentic gear. Fanatics. Officially licensed everything.
Get ready to dive into a new world of online shopping with the Finn's Tailgate. Whether you're a die-hard sports fan or just looking for the latest fashion trends, we've got you covered. With a wide variety of products from your favorite sports teams to stylish accessories and home decor, we're your one-stop shop for all things tailgate. Our easy-to-use website and hassle-free checkout process make shopping with us a breeze. Plus, with frequent sales and discounts, you won't want to shop anywhere else. So come on in and join the party at the Finn's Tailgate, your new go-to destination for all things tailgate.
Good flipping morning, ladies and gentlemen, all stops between. It is another installment of KP's Fantasy Show here at the Finn's Tailgate. And I will be producing in the back for your humble host today, Kahari P. And my name, as you know, is Color. Also known as Color Commentary, bringing you all the information you need. Make sure you all are checking us out every single day. Hit like, hit share, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you're hitting the notification bell so that you'll know when the great TFTG content is coming out. With the likes of El Capitan, our fearless leader, myself, Color Commentary, joining Ali in the mornings with Top of the Tailgate. Ali also putting out all kinds of other content, broken takes, articles on our website, you name it. You got Shake Money doing the drive time and the Smoke Lounge throughout the week. Lewis the Rabid Dolphin joining him, who will be back from vacation by the end of this weekend, I believe. Maybe next week. We'll see. He's having a great time out west. And of course, you got today's host, KP, doing the fantasy show on Saturdays right about this time. Appreciate y'all joining us this morning. And of course, you got Crypto twice a week, Mondays and Thursdays, bringing you his insightful thoughts. And of course, last but certainly not least, the OG, Tonk, every Tuesday night, bringing you TMI Tuesdays. We try to keep it on the rails, but it always goes off. And it's a great show. Really fun time. I enjoyed doing it. Tonk, glad to have him back. You guys can't miss it. Tuesday nights, 9:30. And if you'd like to support the channel, as I said, you could do it the easiest and the most free way to do it is hitting that like button. Make sure you're all hitting it. But you can also hit us up on Cash App with $, the Fins Tailgate, Venmo, the Fins Tailgate, as well as super chats, super stickers, and memberships. 3 different levels, as low as $3 a month, and you can show your support on a regular basis to the Fins Tailgate. Got some great emojis for you, some exclusive content, early viewings of El Capitan's great stuff that he's been putting out, among plenty of other perks coming. And also, make sure you're going over to our new website, TFTGnetwork.com, your centralized location for all of the great content here at the Fins Tailgate. You can find all our bios there, social media handles, all that great stuff. And articles. And of course, the TFTG shop where you can get things like the Cookin' Folk apron, your very own color commentary coffee mug, which is guaranteed to make your coffee taste better. Or my name's not color commentary. And of course, while you're checking out all that stuff, make it your homepage, bookmark it, always go back to it. Everything is curated there for Miami Dolphins content, Fins Tailgate, and news from around the league. We chop it up about everything around here. It is a proper virtual tailgate, the only one you will find on YouTube. And the best one, because the best one is always the first one. And you all know it. So I want to welcome everybody that's in chat so far. We got a bunch of people showing up already. Interesting week. It is the 4th week of going into the 4th week of this fantasy league. All kinds of crazy stuff happened last week. Points on their opponent this week, a feat that hasn't been accomplished in 57 years in the National Football League. So shout out to our Dolphins. You can call it what you want. It was a fun day of football. I was at the stadium, pulled my oblique muscle, standing up so many times for 10 touchdowns. So I'm kind of in the same doghouse as old JP. Latest news is Jalen Phillips will be out for this week's game with an oblique injury. But that's not what we're here for. We're here to talk about fantasy football. And while y'all are at it, make sure you're hitting the links in the description below for Fanatics. As I said earlier, the place to get all your officially licensed gear from the NFL, NBA, MLB, MLS, NHL, probably curling if you checked it. I don't know, but check it out. Let me know. Using the link in the description below lets them know we sent you, and you can also hit up Backroom Collections after you buy your merch over at Fanatics. Get one of them helmets, you can bring it right over to Backroom Collections and have them customize it for you in any way you like. If you're setting up a new office, a new man cave, living room, whatever, they got all your digs. It's a husband and wife team, small business, for all your collectible memorabilia, artwork, all kinds of great stuff. Check them out. Use the link in the description below and hashtag TFTG for 10% off your first order. And of course, Dubby energy drinks. Shake has reviewed the starter pack and the flavors that it comes with. He likes them. I think the creamsicle, I think, is his favorite. But you can check out his reviews. We got them archived at the Fins Tailgate, as well as all of our other content. Make sure you're going back and watching anything you missed, because if you missed a show, there is likely something you missed that's pretty funny or relevant or whatever. So make sure you're checking it all out. And Dubby, no letdown, all smash, no crash. Use the link in the description below as well. With them, you can use hashtag TFTG or TFTG. I don't know if it needs a hashtag or not. But use that at checkout for 10% off your first purchase. Get the dub with Dubby. And I think that covers everything. I don't have like a piece of paper in front of me, so you all know. I have to just remember every time I do it. So in case I forgot anybody, shout out to them too. Mainly shout out to Aquavision, first one in chat this morning, ready to go, ready to talk about football. Flipside Fishing, how you doing? Kahari has obviously he's in the back awaiting his duties. We got El Capitan popping in. It looks like listening to us on the road. He's taking the kids to football today. Got Caden. How you doing, Caden? Nice seeing you. John Featherland, of course, who's been joining us up on stage lately. Appreciate you, John. Shake Money, how you doing? Always holding it down for us. And of course, the ambassador at large for the Dolphins community on YouTube in the macro, Chef Jew. Make sure you're checking out Chef Jew's catering business. I don't have his number off the top of my head. Shake's got that graphic on his side. But Chef Jew does do catering all throughout the South Florida region. Make sure you're hitting them up. You can probably DM him on Twitter or something, or email him, or ask me later. I'll get you the info you need. Chef Jew always holding it down for the mods, and we love having Chef Jew around. Good dude. Saw him at the stadium last week. He was ready to go. He saw me. He caught me in my Tua shirt. Yep, he witnessed it. Yep, mouth about dropped to the floor when he saw it, but whatever. It is what it is. We're rolling, people. So without further ado and further fanfare, I'm gonna bring up today's show host. You all know him. You all love him. Man with his about as deep as voice as me, and this is the guy I go to listen to speak. Y'all love my voice, man, but this is the guy's voice I love right here. Kahari, how you doing this morning, man?
Wow, really? Is that true? Is that true, Color? Come
That's
on,
true,
now.
man. That's true, bro. I really dig your voice, bro.
Hey,
We're
man.
we're kindred spirit, man.
Well, I was about to say that oblique injury you suffered is definitely not going to affect your voice, man. You got the voice made to make millions, buddy. Let me just let you know that.
It has made it hard to sit at my desk, which is why I've been on my phone all week, kind of laying down on the couch while I'm doing this, you know what I mean? But so hopefully we'll get the audio sounding better next week when I'm feeling better and able to sit at my microphone.
All right.
But, but Kahari, I'm feeling a lot better, but I tell you what, it's like still finicky. Like I feel like if I exerted too much, it would be right back to sore again. And so I can understand why Phillips is out another week, man, if that's what he's going through, bro. Like he's probably feeling all right now, stationary, but I could see how you put too much into it and it would re-aggravate it really quick, and then you're out a whole nother couple weeks, so I think it's all right keeping him out this week. We obviously didn't have a hard time without him in the second quarter last weekend. Let's face it. Buffalo's offense is going to do what it's going to do no matter who we put on the field, and it's going to be what it's going to be. Our real concern is making sure we keep that defense out of our backfield. So,
yeah. I mean, well, a couple things there. As far as the oblique injury goes, I'm sure it's one you enjoyed actually, since it was in such a momentous victory. It's like them old days when we played football, right? When you had a bruise or something, but you scored the touchdown, or
you had a great game. You felt great, and that soreness reminds you of that great night you had on the field. Or heck, I've even felt it coming out of punk shows after a good rough mosh pit. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you're on your way home, you're all sore, and you're like, I feel good. You know, like,
I had a great time getting my ass
yep,
whooped. You know what I'm
yep,
saying?
exactly.
Yeah. But hey, man, and then number two, as far as Jalen Phillips, I know the exact moment when he got hurt. It was when he wore that awful outfit to that New England Patriots game, pregame. Oh my God, it was so bad. Just the look of the outfit was enough to injure not just my eyes, but I think he injured himself as well. But anyway,
Not so dapper, huh? Not so dapper that day. Huh?
yeah. So he needs to get a tailor and a wardrobe advisor, and his personal health will improve for sure. But
Right,
anyway,
right. Well, you know, the one other thing, the reason I knew what caused it too is because when I was going through the initial peak of the pain earlier in the week, right when I tried to stand up in certain ways is when I felt it. So I'm thinking it was probably from jumping up out of my seat 10 times Sunday. That's what this is from, man. You're kidding me.
yeah. Hey, well, anyway, we could talk old injuries, new injuries all day. And hey, injuries is one of the key parts of our fantasy football rubric on a week-to-week basis. But I'd like to welcome everybody to our week 4 forecast. And the key theme I'd like to go with this week.
But before
is,
you get too started, Kari, I just wanted to welcome Ali, who looks like Ali's popped in to join us this morning. So that's pretty
hey,
cool.
morning, Ali. Morning, Ali. And he is the
Morning.
star of our league this week.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. But I will say that injuries are a key part of fantasy football, and it's been haunting me since the beginning of this league that we started.
Yeah, absolutely. With a league this deep, with so much talent spread so thin between 20 teams, it's even that much more magnified, right? And but I like what you did, Ali. We'll be talking about that later because I think Ali gets the Chris Greer Award this week for his wheeling and dealing in our very own TFTG Dolphins Fantasy Football League.
Is that what we're going to call the championship of the TFTG league, the Chris Greer Trophy?
Well, when you make trade, I think when you make trades or you make a key pickup or you make a key change to your team, that'll be the Chris Greer Award.
Little badge like weekly Chris Greer Award.
And hey, I just made that up 10 seconds ago.
There you go. So it's the first weekly Chris Greer Award. So yeah, look for 13 more of them.
And hey, you'd be happy to know a color that if we had to give out a silver medal or a vice trophy, it would go to our very own Crypto, who also pulled off a major trade this week. And we'll be talking about the trades in a few moments. But like we were saying, weather, injuries, matchup are three of the most important, factors you want to deal with whenever you are forecasting your fantasy football lineup on a week-to-week basis in weekly fantasy football, and then also in your DFS approach as well. And we can do weather real quick in 2 seconds. Weather looks great nationwide, folks. So there should be no weather issues for any of your matchups this week. So your key players are a go with no reservations when it comes to limitations caused by weather phenomena, no matter what part of the country you're in. It should be a fast flying football Sunday tomorrow. Look for those top players to maximize their output with no restriction. Now, as far as the injuries go, there are some key injuries around the league that you need to be looking out for. And I mean, we don't have to spend too much time here, but if there are any questions about that, you definitely want to call in on the show later on, around 11:45 or so. You can get in the back and we can discuss what your strategy should be going forward with some of these injuries. But yeah, I mean, all said, it's week 4, and the theme that I want to discuss this week with everybody is the word opportunity. Opportunity. I want to just reemphasize that no matter where you are, whether you've started 0-3, 3-0, 1-2, 2-1, no matter who you are, there's still a tremendous opportunity for you to end up as the winner in this league. It just takes that right move, right? It just takes that big output from a key decision you've made, and you can It's still there. You still have the opportunity to turn things around and to make things happen. So nobody who's in any of these leagues should be giving up at this stage of whatever it is their plan is on weekly fantasy football. All right. So with that said, yeah, Color, you started the discussion already about the fantasy implications for our Buffalo Miami game, and that term opportunity, I think, is definitely going to be available here in this game. I mean, for the Dolphins, beyond the fantasy implications, we've got a tremendous opportunity to take this league over tomorrow at 1 p.m. If we
Oh
can
boy,
pull off
do
that
we
victory
ever?
against Buffalo.
Do we ever, Kahari? By the way, on the DFS side of the house, what you call last week's performance by Achan and Mostert, that's what you call a slate breaker,
Oh
ladies
yeah,
and gentlemen. You can pretty much congratulate a Miami Dolphin fan for winning the $1 million this week, because it's likely only a Miami Dolphin fan had both those guys on their lineup.
yeah. I'm sure nobody did, but if there is one person out there, give that man $1 million. You know what I'm saying? Last week
And it's
was
likely a Dolphin fan.
last week wasn't just historic for the NFL. It was definitely historic for fantasy football in terms of Dolphins just running ish. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if you didn't like the Dolphins before, folks, if you're a fantasy football geek only, if fantasy football has been your entry into watching professional football, then you got to be a Dolphin fan now, and that's just going to continue to be the case. Be the case for this entire season with McDaniels.
The new trend.
Yeah. Hey, good morning, Cap. Welcome back, bro.
What's up,
Is
guys?
that Major Capitan Commander Chris there? Is
Yes.
that who that is? Oh, okay.
Yep, I'm here. I'm driving to New Smyrna with my son to his football game. His team is undefeated in the league. There's only one other undefeated team, but they're still out at number one because they've scored 146 points in their first 4 games and has surrendered 0 points. So 146-0, their team right now.
So they're gonna make you play the older kids now or something?
No, what we do, how it works in the Pop Warner regional stuff is you play your region, then you go to the regional playoffs, then you win. If you win the regional playoffs and become regional champion, then you start going into against other regional champions, and then they find who the state champion is. So we have our goals set and our eyes fixed, coaching staff and players alike, on winning this regionals and starting to go against teams from Jacksonville, Orlando, South Florida, wherever, and putting the gears to them.
So is it illegal to form a fantasy sport league for Pop Warner?
It is.
If it,
okay.
it,
if it involves money. Well, no. If it involves money, and that has been a big problem with Pop Warner, the betting on youth football, and it's caused a lot of
no kidding.
I didn't even have an idea of that. That's
and that's crazy. Exactly,
Yeah.
Ollie. I was joking, but to think there's actually people out there doing that, y'all got to do better, man. Come on.
Well, it's been an issue here in South Florida in the past. Honestly, it has. I mean, it's been at the root of some major violent incidents that have occurred on parks here. Not anytime recently, as far as I remember, but in the past, it's been the instigant of certain problems, especially when someone's put money on a certain kid and the coach doesn't want to play the kid for, let's say he didn't do his homework this week or something. This becomes an issue when the wrong guy wants the right player to play it. So, it has happened. It has happened.
Right. Now, I was actually kind of taken back when I first saw college available for fantasy. I thought that was interesting enough.
Yeah,
it's amateur sports. You know what I mean? It's like,
not anymore. These kids are getting paid now, Color. They're just,
by the way, there's an indigo snake just rolling by my morning glory plant, bro. Oh, that's cool. Sorry, I don't mean.
So we expect this game to be an absolute slot fest. It is raining across all of Central and North Florida like it's reminiscent of El Nino because it is just dark skies and raining, and it's been raining since yesterday and it hasn't stopped. We got flood warnings all over Central and North Florida, and it's gonna be a messy game. I'm gonna have to let the coach know that when it gets down to it, they need to go ahead and give my son the football because he's a short little fire plug, and he should be able to run right down the throats of anybody if they want.
Key to the game is holding on to the ball.
That's
Bro,
it.
I haven't seen a snake in
up.
ages, man.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I don't know if you guys seen this come across the feed, but Cameron Good got signed to the 53-man roster. I'm guessing that's because
Sweet.
because of Jalen Phillips not being in there.
Oh, bro, can you imagine this? Can you? I was gonna make a hot take last night that Cameron Good sacks Josh Allen, bro. Oh man, I've been saying that we drafted him to seek and destroy Josh Allen, and I still have a feeling that we did that to this day. So we'll see what happens.
He's the Josh Allen killer.
I think so because that's what his college tape shows. He's really good at containing a running quarterback in the flat. That's what I noticed from his college film. And he's really good at getting in the backfield.
I will say this. Yeah, some important information about him being called up. I think this is the last time we can call him up.
Correct.
After
3 times, you have to sign him.
Roster. Yeah,
absolutely.
I think we have to sign him to the roster officially. So we'll see.
Well, that's what it was. He's been signed officially to the 53-man roster. Per his agent.
Oh, per his agent. Okay, then that's a little bit bigger then.
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry, I left out some details on that one.
Right, because we already called him up 3 times. We've called him up for all 3 games this year. So we would, in order to call him up today, we would have had to sign him.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that will have a ripple effect. I think there's a limit on how many, times you can do that too. So it is kind of early.
With players.
Yeah. It is kind of early in the season, but we'll see. I mean, it should be a minor detail going forward, and it's a huge opportunity.
It is. I just have high personal hopes for him.
No, it's a huge opportunity. I mean, if he can establish himself as the guy that neutralizes Josh Allen, he will build for himself a valuable NFL career. You know what I'm saying? So it's a huge opportunity. I'm sure his agent is telling him that right now on the phone as we speak. So we'll see.
Well, I mean, let's call it for what it is, right? They're not gonna. It's gonna be Andrew Van Ginkel opposite of Chubb all game, and Cameron Good will only come in for relief for one or both of those guys.
Right. And I'm also thinking well-timed situations, right? And also well-timed situations. Like I do like him in short yardage and goal line situations, big time.
Yeah, he's a big boy.
Yeah.
He doesn't give up, and he doesn't give up much in physique to Jalen Phillips either. I've noticed in camp this year.
Yeah,
man.
he's definitely a big boy.
No,
we got major. Go ahead. I'm sorry, KP. Go ahead, KP.
No, I was going to say, his A to B acceleration from that position is probably his most elite feature as a player. His A to B acceleration in a short distance, 10 yards. I don't know what he would have scored, on his NFL draft combine, but that's always impressed me about his game. Once he decides to target and destroy, he's one of the best we have from that outside linebacker position. So, he has a huge opportunity. Go ahead, Ollie. Yeah.
I just have some quick questions, and you guys may have talked about it last night at some point. I just need a reminder. So we had 2 major injury news. River Craycraft unfortunately was set to the injured reserve, which sucks.
Yeah.
So I'm questioning how many games will he miss now, or how many games
if
he miss
he's
before he come
on
up?
IR,
At least 4. At least 4
games. Okay. And then in addition to that, Eazy-E is put on the injured reserve non-football injury. What is the difference? And
they've done that just so he can come back next week. It's a protected player that doesn't go on the practice squad that can get scooped up by another team.
Okay.
So it's essentially the new way. Last year they had where you can protect certain practice squad players. They've done away with that, and then now used in non-injury IR status. So that's what they've done. They've changed it from last year to this year to basically
is it sort of like an in-season version of the pup list?
It's essentially what it was last year to a protected practice squad player, that they don't want other teams having the ability to snag him up. And shout out to Lou continuing his membership, hanging out with his fams, with his wife in there in Vegas, living the dream for all of us right now.
Yeah.
Shout out to Lou.
I just want to also shout out Amicus, man. Glad to have you back. You've been missing from the Fins tailgate.
Listen, don't worry about that, Ali, because we're not going to see him again for another 5 months here directly, because after the Dolphins hand the Bills their own ass, he's gonna be MIA again.
Damn.
He's gonna be on a secret mission somewhere in Asia.
They're like ostriches. They stick their head in the ground.
And then when Denver has that get right game against them, he may turn into a Dolphins fan.
He really is. He's a closet Dolphins fan already. Yeah, no doubt, Ali. But hey, that's what it's all about.
Real quick, one other thing, Corey. That's the scary part about us beating Denver and them being so bad as everybody thinks. Our division opponents still have to face them.
Yeah. Who's going to drop one to Denver? The Jets, the Patriots, the Bills, and then who's going to look like a real idiot because of that?
Yeah.
That's right, Miami fan talk. You know it, homie.
Cap is always telling them. It's just up to you guys to listen or not.
That's all. I'm always telling, and I'm batting 1,000 when I'm telling people this stuff. I don't know why they're not listening all the time. I don't get it.
And thanks for that, Big Philly. Appreciate that.
Yeah, no doubt. Big Philly, big shout out to you, bro. That's one diehard Dolphin fan, man. He shows up at the games, shows up on the shows. Respect that guy a lot, man. Great attitude.
Good dude.
Yeah, great dude, man. But yeah, hey guys, we're here for the fantasy football, so let's get to it. Real quick, in our TFTG league, I don't know, I'm going to share the screen right here, Color. Hold on one
We got
second.
Shaken back now too. Shake, if it's easier for you when Kari shares his screen, if you could add it for me. I'm also I might be Capitan. I'm getting feedback from. Somebody's coming back.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there is a little something in the background there. But yeah, in our very own TFTG league, last week I put out the call for trades. It was week 3. And, there was a couple managers dissatisfied with the current state of their roster, as you might say. And so I wanted to encourage everybody to make some trades, because you're not going to find as much relief in this league. And for those who don't know, it's a 20-team league using dual positions at the defense, right? Which makes it a little bit interesting. But anyway, and I'm happy to announce that, we had a couple folks answer the call. You might have already heard that Ali is going to win the weekly Chris Greer Award. But before he pulled off his big moves, and I say moves plural, right? We had Team Crypto. I don't know if you can see this. But yeah, it's on screen. Okay, yeah. Team Crypto actually inaugurated the trade season in our league by making a move. I wonder what you guys would think about this one, and also in the audience, where he gave up his wide receiver 1, CeeDee Lamb.
I don't like the move, but I understand it. You know what I'm saying? Here's Crypto, who had no access to getting his draft in order, has so many defensive picks that you don't need, and no quarterback. He needed a quarterback.
Yeah, and he was loaded at the wide receiver position. I mean, in addition to CeeDee Lamb, I think he had Jerry Jeudy. He had, we can look at his wrong. I forget who the other guy was he had. So ultimately, he would have had to give
Devontae
up.
Adams as well.
Devontae Adams, exactly.
So
Devontae Adams counts as 2 wide receivers.
So clarify the trade real quick, name for name. Who would we get? What was it?
Crypto gave up CeeDee Lamb for Russell Wilson. Now, say what you want about Russell.
Move.
Yeah, it is.
Exactly. Say what you want about Russell Wilson and Denver as a winning franchise this year, but Russell Wilson has been spot on. He's been very productive in terms of putting yardage and even
Look,
touchdowns.
there's still going to be somebody putting up points in Denver, regardless of how their season turns out.
Exactly. Hey, welcome to the show, Shake. What's
That's
up?
better than getting your average bad quarterback. Like, I'd take Russell Wilson right now, even with all Denver's problems. I would take Russell Wilson over somebody like Geno Smith, to be honest with you, because you're looking at a guy in Geno that's ready for a collapse. You're looking at a guy in Russell who's everybody's counting out now, and he's still a serviceable quarterback.
And I tell you what, one thing I want to point out real quick is the fact that he's going to always be playing from behind because that defense is giving up so many points that he's going to have to air it out.
That too, Shake. You know what? Russell Wilson is this year's Ryan Tannehill when I won my chip a few years back. Like, even though we were losing with Ryan and things were shaky, he was still getting junk time. He was still putting up 30, 40 points every single week, win or lose. So, yeah, good move. Good move, Crypto, getting yourself a damn quarterback, man.
Yeah. Like I said, I mean, he could have done far worse.
Let's face it, I see darker days ahead for CD Lamb, to be honest with you.
I agree.
Not to be unfair to the person that took him.
Right. No, hey, man, one thing you got to say about Crypto, man, the guy is an analytical figure, and he's always looking at the horizon. He's always looking long term. What's going to end up being the best, and so that's why I respect that guy. So and hey,
let me clarify real quick. I meant in the short term on CD Lamb. I don't think. I mean, because of the problems they're about to start going through, losing to Arizona, trying to get right, blah blah blah. CD Lamb may be diminished for a couple weeks, and then kind of get on fire when they get back on their playoff run. You know what I mean?
Listen. The problem with CeeDee Lamb is he's an amazing, dynamic wide receiver with the wrong quarterback. Let's face it.
Right.
That is the
that's what I mean, Ali. That's what I mean. That's what I mean. They lost to Arizona. It's likely that the offense will struggle for a couple weeks. Then when they get back on track to their playoff run, it's going to be nice for that person to have CeeDee Lamb on their roster. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Maybe that's it. That's if their quarterback makes it all season. Shout out to Mr. Hulk talking about represent Killian. As you guys know, KP, the Killian, the Cougars.
Yeah, no doubt. And hey, I did want to give a shout out to Shake and Crypto, who host the Currency Connection on a weekly basis Saturday nights, where they drop their picks on all things NFL and crypto. So if you haven't already, tune into that too, fellas. All right, no doubt.
Yeah, but damn, and
shout out again, Miami fan talk. Listen, man, we talked about it for like 2 weeks before the draft. It was a 20-person league. It filled up quickly, but there was like 3 or 4 spots left. You should have grabbed one, bro.
Yeah.
Listen, when you got a 20-person league,
they know 16-team league or anything. This is a 20-team league. It's pretty tough.
It's hard, man. This is a hard league to navigate.
Yeah, Philly. This is like taking physics with calculus, man. This is fantasy
I'll tell you
football.
what, a lot of the teams scoring big points early on. You know, in that third and fourth quarter of the season, it's going to change. It's going to pivot. A lot of these guys that nobody knows who they are going to be this sneaky player, like the Dolphins were with Devon A-Chain last week. You know what I'm saying?
Well, hey, Chris, that's the perfect segue, because that's why the GM Award of the Week, the Chris Greer Award, goes to Ali G and Rizzler of Oz. Now, take a look at what's on the screen here. I mean, this was a huge trade that Ali then followed up with another drop and ad that we'll talk about in a second. But take a look at this trade. Rizzler of the Oz gave up Jimmy G and Zay Jones for Tutu Atwell and the Jets defense. Now, you know, it's what I love about this is that it's not like for like, right? One team's receiving a quarterback, the other team's receiving a defense. Now, the Jets defense is arguably the second best defense in the league, only behind Dallas Cowboys. So, and in our league, defenses count. Defenses can score points. And then he's getting a starting quarterback, but it's kind of risky.
Who's the quarterback again?
Garoppolo, who's always been productive, but you know, with the injury bug is always in the back of everybody's head when it comes to Garoppolo. Right. And then as far as the wide receiver goes, you got Zay Jones, potential, and occasional splash versus who I think may be a big time sleeper. He may end up being one of the biggest sleepers of the league this year, and Miami's own Tutu Atwell, who
also produced again this week.
Exactly.
As I keep telling everybody, look, as I keep telling everybody, McVay is stealing McDaniel's stuff. Tutu Atwell is the key to that operation over there for them, like Tyreek Hill is for us.
This is the big story about this trade, though. The biggest story of this trade that KP has not mentioned yet is the fact that I was able to pull this off and get a starting quarterback, right? Without giving up my two biggest pieces, which was what's his name?
Ayuk and
McCaffrey.
And because of Atwell and because of Atwell and the whole state of affairs with what they're doing with their scheme, you were able to provide some value for your trade partner, bro.
Yeah, that's exactly correct.
And by the way, one of the things still is I think is the wrong word, because you know what? They have a relationship. I'm sure McDaniel has helped him.
I use still loosely, like in the football colloquial sense. I'm not really meaning that he did anything nefarious. I'm pretty sure they were. We don't face the Rams this year, and they're likely not to get to the Super Bowl. So it's a friendly conversation. Yeah, why not? It's not hurting each other. You know what I mean?
And Greg, yes, I did lose to you, but that was also without a quarterback.
my man.
And
I mean, I don't know who plays who, but what if the Rams beat the Kansas City Chiefs, allowing us to take the top seed because they were using Mike McDaniel's stuff? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right. And then I mean, Ali, you might want to explain. You might want to explain to the listeners out there exactly what you did with this next transaction, where you picked up Brian Hoyer. You want to explain your logic there?
Yeah, so essentially, as KP said earlier on in the show, injuries is a very big thing when it comes to fantasy football. And unfortunately, I've been hit with this injury bug with my starting quarterbacks. Everything from Aaron Rodgers, now Jimmy G is on the concussion protocol still, right? And they're expecting him to be out while they expect Brian Hoyer to be backing him up and he's being the starting quarterback. So lo and behold, Brian Hoyer was a free agent, not even on the waiver wire. So I went ahead and grabbed him, and I dropped Chase Brown, who has done absolutely nothing for the Bengals.
Because Hoyer will get you some points. I mean, if the other guy ain't getting you nothing.
I think it's pronounced Hoyer.
Everyone calls him Hoyer, I make fun of him by saying Hoyer.
Oh, okay. All right. That's fine.
I do the same thing to Poye in Buffalo.
Yeah. But he's projected to get the same amount of points that Jimmy G was. So I was like, okay, it's a like for like. I'll take it because I'm not losing points, essentially. That's how I'm looking at it.
And I'm not the one that started it. I think it might have been Shay that started Hoyer.
Go ahead. KP.
Oh, no. I thought I was getting some feedback there. So, but yeah. No. What I was saying is, as far as our league goes, the thing you want to think about the conditions in our league, which are 20 teams deep, right? And multiple positions doubled up. The depth in the free agent market isn't there. So to be successful in this league, you're going to have to be a long-term planner and pick up players with the anticipation that someone may get injured and that you'll be in the place to be a beneficiary of that. And and that's why the GM goes to our league this week, not just for the trade, but for that follow-up move as well. So just wanted to fit that in there. But go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah.
By the way, Cal Van Noy, Ravens signed Cal Van Noy.
He'll fit in good there.
He's still fleecing people? Come on, man. He needs to retire, man. Slow line.
But they signed him,
Yeah. But anyway, hey, guys, as far as our fantasy football league goes, really quick recap of where we're at. Let's just take a quick look at the league home standings, etc. If we're looking at our standings over here, let's see. View full standings. After 3 weeks of fantasy football, tracking the NFL performances here and there, to and fro. And yeah, Big Philly, man, I wish we could have gotten you in here, man. I would have thoroughly enjoyed thrashing your team as well. Because at the top of the league, who do we have but KP's own Demon Dolphins? Promise you it's not fixed. It's just pure skill, guys. Okay? With a perfect 3-0 record. I know I'm talking that crap now. I'll probably end up in the basement by the end of the season. Ball So Hard in second. We're the only two teams that are undefeated. So shout out to Ball So Hard, Brian Mitchell's team. We got a huge list of teams that are 2-1 and 1-2. And again, with this week's theme being opportunity, I just want to encourage all of these managers and all of these teams here to continue to do what they need to do in order to keep their eyes on the prize. It's still there. And then in the basement right now, we've got Red Ants Nation, which is surprising to me, given his strong draft performance. But that's just the way the cookie crumbles. And Team Crypto, which, who made one of those big moves in grabbing Russell Wilson as a quarterback, finally. Unfortunately for Team Crypto, his matchup this week involves facing the Demon Dolphins, who, as you can see here, as we continue to look at the stats.
You're going down hard this week.
Yeah, so unfortunately, Crypto, you can start your rally at 0-4, okay? I'm just kidding, Crypto, man. You may end up beating me with Russell Wilson at the helm, so we'll see. But anyway, guys, we've got the matchups we could go over, but we could open up the phone lines if you want as we do that, or
you the man, Car. You tell me what.
Hey, by the way, I gotta go because
cool.
I'm gonna be calling the Gators game in about 10 minutes. But before I go, I'm just here to let you know my man from the Currency Connection is gonna be the champ but when it's all said and done. So with that being said, fins up, guys.
Hey, that may be true, Shake, but he'll have to do so after starting 0-4, okay? And by the way, yeah, to that, if you want to watch some sorry Division I football from a has-been team who play in the swamp.
I said I'm calling the Gators, not the Canes. I said I'm calling the Gators, not the Canes. Come on, get it right.
Whatever, man. Whatever. And hey, Christian Wilkins, I need 2 sacks from you this week, buddy. Okay, so
hey, Kalari,
anyway,
speaking of the U,
what's up?
Speaking of the U, I just thought about something. When we put up that 77 burger, was that in Hard Rock?
I believe it was, yeah. So
in 2 games, in the last 2 years, in 2 games of football, Hard Rock has seen 140. What is that? 147 points in 2 games
by the 2 Miami teams.
Yeah.
There's some magic that's going on. This magical city of Miami. Maybe it's the King Tide color that is raised.
It's all about excellence, man.
From the ocean. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I'm just
Miami football is all about excellence. That's all there is to it.
Absolutely. But as far as our league goes, hey, a quest for excellence, the Killian Cougar way. But anyway, as far as the matchups in our league, we've got, as you can see here, Team Crypto versus, the Demon Dolphins. Team Crypto brings his 0-3 record against the Demon Dolphins' 3-0 record. 14-0 so far, with Riley Patterson, Detroit Ticker, having a very solid performance on Thursday Night Football. Ali G, who's made the big trade, takes on Bryson, top of the hill squad. So this is a 1-2 versus 2-1 matchup. We had Dave Montgomery, put up a monster performance on Thursday night from the running back position, which has really powered Bryson to a pretty big lead. If you look at the projections there, Bryson's projected for 186 points compared to Ali's 135. So big trade aside, Ali looks like he's still going to be in a dogfight, in a struggle there to pull that one off.
Yeah, he's going to need a couple overachievers.
Yeah. Adam Padilla's Rizzler of Oz versus our very own Flipside Fishins squad. This is a 2-1, or 2 wins, 1 loss matchup between both teams. With Rizzler of Oz projected at 163 points, Flipside at 132. Flipside being a little bit sabotaged and betrayed by Luke Musgrave, Green Bay's rookie tight end, who picked up a major injury. We'll have to look at his long-term prospects as a fantasy tight end and in real life there. So bad news for Flipside, as he didn't get the production he would have wanted from Luke Musgrave. Team Greg, and shout out to Greg who's in the chat, brings his 1-2 record against current second place team Ball So Hard of Brian Mitchell. Now, a little bit indifferent performance thus far coming out of Thursday Night Football with Jared Goff on the lower end, producing just 11 points, and the Detroit defense putting up an additional 7 versus Brian Mitchell's Aaron Jones, who's been quiet this year in that Jordan Love setup, and who only put forward 4.5 points thus far. We've got Roach's Jags Junkies versus Guardians of the End Zone. My guy Arthur Ray's team, who is in the lead. This is 1-2 versus Roach's 2-1, with 16 points from Amon St. Brown, who continues to produce whenever he gets on the field. Although how hard that guy plays, I'm kind of worried about his long-term ability to stay healthy. He's starting to pick up a couple injuries that may end up slowing him down in the long run. So we'll see. As far as the final 4 matchups, we have I Could See the Light bringing a 2-1 record versus In It to Win It. This is Mr. Porter's team, who's projected to score 124 points versus In It to Win It at 153. Team Stream versus Miss Finn's My Skills Get Sexy team. This is a 1-2 Team Stream versus Miss Finn's 2-1 squad. Right now, nobody has any points on the board, and Miss Finn's is scheduled to win 130-91. We have the Red Ants Nation in the basement at 0-3 versus Moss, Canadian Across the Pond Radio's Moss, Canadian Finn, the first victim of the Demon Dolphins, by the way. Red Ants Nation projected for 142 versus Moss's 128. So maybe Red Ants can put that first dub on the board. Last 2 matchups, we got El Capitan, who you just heard from. Already enjoying a lead here with 34 fantasy points from Jamar Gibbs, kicker Andy Carlson, and tight end Sam Laporta, who has been somewhat of a surprising regular fantasy contributor against McGritty's 13.6 points, which came all from Jordan Love's Thursday night performance, which was a little bit up and down. Definitely showed his talent, produced 2 touchdowns, but also gave away 2 interceptions. So I don't know. Maybe we could talk about Jordan Love's long-term prospects later on. I kind of like what I'm seeing from Jordan Love in the long term. And then in our final matchup, we've got Andres Negron's Team Latino, who fell last week to the Demon Dolphins with a 1-2 record, versus Newfoundland's consistently strong performing Newfoundland team, who brings in a 2.1 record. This is a tight matchup, projection of 111 versus 108 in the fantasy scorecard. If you want to go a little deeper into the matchups for any of these particular contests, I want you to right now, jump on StreamYard and come on up and chat with us, and we'll take your matchups on a 1-by-1 basis. We can go in and look at all the mechanics. We can look at your bench. We can, just chop it up and discuss what may be your strategies going forward. So, yeah, Color, if you could open it up to the audience right now, let's bring everybody on. And any questions or comments that you have, doesn't have to be this league. Doesn't have to be the TFTG league. If you got some stuff going on in your very own fantasy football world, let's chop it up.
I can
It's the
even
fantasy.
try to help you with some DFS questions if they came up.
Oh,
On
yeah,
that
yeah. We
front,
can build your lineups right now.
on that front, we're starting to shape up with some consistent players to go, to make a nice core four with every week. So DFS is getting, easier as the weeks go along.
The more data you have, the more educated your picks can be, right? Right now, everybody knows if you want to win, you need to have some Dolphins in that lineup.
Ironically, nobody's taking even the odds makers didn't take the cheese on Achane because he's still in the 5,000 range, like I think 5,400 or something. So
right. So they
I just
saw his
went ahead and
performance as
put
an
him on my
outlier,
lineup again. Why not?
Yeah.
Game is projected 53.5 over under, so somebody's got to be getting the points.
And you got to think a guy like McDaniel, who is the perpetual underdog planner type, right? He would have had this game circled as one that is a must win. And so I'm sure his package, the package of offensive plays he's got ready, are going to be something like we've never seen.
Yeah, that's what I've always imagined too. Like, these coaches when they do their documentaries or whatever, a lot of what we find is, oh, that guy worked 24/7, even at home, he was cracking the books. You know what I mean? And I think they even though they're gung ho like that, I think they still organize themselves a certain way. So in other words, if I'm on the clock, technically, I'm going to work on this week's game. You know what I mean? But hey, if I'm at home cracking the books at 2 a.m. because I'm bored and can't go to sleep, I'm working on Buffalo. You know what I mean? Like that's what I'm talking about.
Hey, the road to our division goes through Buffalo, whether we like it or not. And last year we stood up to them, but we haven't finished them off. This is the year to finish them off, and take this league over, take this division over, So, everything leads to tomorrow as the big coronation of the Dolphins. So we'll see. We'll see. I can't wait, man. I cannot wait.
Yeah. I mean, what's the worst that could happen? The same thing that's happened the last 2 times we faced them in their house. I mean,
right.
Oh, well, like I said, pressure's on them.
And also, while we don't have the final injury reports for tomorrow's games yet, if you have an injury question, if you want to know what the initial injury forecast is for your player, holler at us. Come on the show. I've got the injury forecast up for every team, and we can chop it up on that as well. So, yeah, man, it's the fantasy football forecast every Saturday at 11 a.m. We try to get it in before the Saturday college football games begin, because I know we have a bunch of people who enjoy college football just as much as they do the pros. So
I went ahead and pinned the link also to the chat, so it's above. So if anybody, if it scrolls away.
No doubt. And hey, if you just want to come up and say what's up, you can do that too. We're just keeping it loose here. It's week 4. We're trying to help you win some money or win some acclaim in your league, So, yeah, man. Do you think tomorrow's going to be a shootout color?
The last time I thought I wanted to take the under for the Chargers game, and I would have been wrong. I mean, 53.5 is a lot, man. And the weather is supposed to be absolutely perfect for football.
Yeah.
Both defenses are suffering from some injuries, so it's probably less likely that the defenses clamp things down and that, we start to see these offenses trying to keep up with each other. Well, I should say Buffalo trying to keep up with our offense. You know what I mean? So that could portend some really good things, but at the same time, I think they've been circling our offense too. But do they have the physical ability to stop what we're doing if we are executing at a high level? That's the question, and I just don't believe they do.
Yeah.
I don't believe anybody does.
My X factors for our potential victory, I think, are Matt Milano on their defense, and then the big guy Josh Allen, of course, on offense, containing Josh Allen. It is a gargantuan task, but that is what you want to do. Try to limit his ability to just wreck your defense, either on the ground or in the air, where he has become a more accurate guy. I mean, say what you want about him. He is a force right now in the NFL.
Well, I mean, if you think of the fact that we obviously all agree that, and most even our opponents agree that we left some points on the field against the Chargers and the Patriots, right?
And the Broncos. I mean, we could have scored 80 points.
Technically, yeah. But let's say, put that aside, right? And you can take any number of those 70 points and spread them across the two games we left points on the field on, and would that be any more or less accurate when you look at it at the per football minute level? When you see that we're operating our offense so fast that we're putting up 3/4 of a point per football minute, and that's with having our starting offense off the field with how many minutes left in the game.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? So when you look at it from that perspective, I don't think anybody, if we're executing at a high level, I don't think anybody can keep up. I think 70 points actually represents a regression to the mean, given that we all expected our offense to be around, a high level of points per game. And we didn't know what that number actually was. A lot of us said maybe 29, you know what I mean? We should be where we're at, 27, and we've only been putting up less than that. So again, as last year, which we all expected more, we're starting to cash in points for all this yardage, and all this yardage is translating into a god-awful amount of points. And so I think it's fair when you look at it as a regression to the mean to say maybe the mean is just under 43 points a game. I mean, we're at 43 points per ball game.
Yeah, I would just probably not
that's probably still a little inflated, you know what I mean?
Exactly, yeah.
Still, we're the ones inflated with that number, not anybody else. And so we just need to keep executing at a high level.
Yeah, it represents the degree to which we are so far ahead of the league right now.
Mm-hmm. That's our ceiling capability. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And you know what? That's what I'm thinking about for our team. Once defensive coordinators start to get a handle on our pace, number one, and our scheme, what's going to be McDaniel's next adjustment?
Right.
And I'm feeling confident in that area because I like the physicality that our O-line has shown thus far. Our ability to run, I think, just
because even if you factor in adjustment and he's able to make that adjustment, we can still adjust back to what. I mean, the thing is just so complicated for defenses to figure out. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, it is
because we operated at such a high level and a high level of efficiency. You know what I mean? That's part of the key. Kahari, I'm glad because this is the first time I've laid this out publicly. I meant to say something last night, but I think you're precisely the type of person that can get this analogy. I think I've made I think I've figured out the true comp. If you use lingo of our offensive scheme, if you want to look at it as Mike McDaniel and innovating something new and all that,
let me guess, Shanahan on steroids.
No. I actually look at it like if you want to, some greats or some flashes in the pan had a really good thing going. Either on offense, either in the pass game or the run game, but few have had both, right? And that's what makes the likes of guys like Chip Kelly be a flash in the pan. What he was trying to do on offense was sure innovative. It was an RPO, and it was saying, hey, yes, this is simple and can be defeated unless we have a bunch of superstar athletes on our team that can run it at such a high level and high speed, You know what I mean? That the defenses just get gassed and we put up a whole bunch of points, right?
Right.
What they couldn't follow that up with was a decent run game.
Right.
Right. And here's the thing. So I honestly think what we're looking at is a complete what would you call it? Morphism? Is that what the word I'm looking for?
Right.
Between Chip Kelly's passing attack and the high athleticism and high speed nature of it with Marv Levy's running game.
Yes.
That's where I'm at right now. And that is just unstoppable, man.
That's an intriguing prospect for the efficiency and
like we're running Marv as far as the running game goes. We're also running Marv Levy's running game at the Chip Kelly level of efficiency.
Right. Efficiency, you know what I mean? and potency all at the same time.
Yep. You know? I mean, these counter traps that Mostert is laying on people are just unreal, bro. It's great stuff, man.
Well, hey, speaking of our running game, I wanted to talk about this earlier and I kind of forgot. But I mean, we are at that point where somebody is likely to get Jonathan Taylor. Now, in my mind, right, I think that this move,
it'll be Cleveland.
Cleveland. I think it might be Cleveland, it might be Minnesota, right? But I think if we end up not accomplishing the Super Bowl this year, and it may be because we did not get Jonathan Taylor. And I say that given the absolutely monstrous performances we just witnessed from Mostert and
I think I kind of agree, Corey. It just makes you wonder, is it sustainable?
Right, exactly.
With just the backs we have, you know.
Right. And hey, I love those guys and I love what they've done thus far. A-Chain has exceeded my expectations just with that one game performance alone. I can see it. I'm still worried about his long-term ability to stay healthy for an entire season. And the same kind of goes with Mostert as well. Although I love that Mostert has packed on the extra pounds.
And he's playing at the level he was before he got injured in San Francisco when he was starting to make a really good run. You know what I mean?
And he knows this. He's conscious of it. He's salty. He knows he has these doubters who doubt that he can be an every down back for 17 games in a season. I mean, he said as much in his press conference. So mentally, he's bringing the exact right approach.
I mean, wasn't it Wilson that basically took his job out there, and then Mitchell took his?
And Wilson's coming back. Wilson's should be able to come back in the next couple of weeks too. So I mean, our cupboard is full already, and so I don't want to what I'm saying about Jonathan Taylor to be, just cast aside as hating on the Dolphins' backfield, because I think we've got enough to win a Super Bowl with what we've got. But I'm such a big fan of what Jonathan Taylor brings to the table that I think it would be totally devastating with him in this high-powered, potent offense going forward.
Right, and you wouldn't even have to, because of what we've got, we wouldn't even have to rush him right out.
Right.
We could use him in situational spots, all kinds of stuff that would just usher us right into the bowl. You know what I mean?
But the risk is, you mess up the team camaraderie, the team dynamic that's been established thus far, all the positive vibes. It would at least put a temporary disruption in that. Not that Jonathan Taylor's any bad guy or anything like that, but, it's a new guy. You got to get him used to things. You got to fit him in. But it is a risk. I would say that. It would be a risky move, but it might be the kind of gamble that wins you the championship.
Yeah, and also to relieve some of that, it's likely the way the contract would be structured is that we're not paying much for him this year. You know what I mean? And you're looking at him as a more long-term stable horse anyway, given Mostert's age. No shade to him. You know what I mean? And to also have Chan, it's like, hey, okay, now we're talking about it. We've got him basically on the level of money for this year where we can literally just roll him out as a merc. And I think the team would accept that as a matter of camaraderie. You know what I mean?
No doubt, no doubt. But hey, we got Big Philly and Crypto in the house, man. Hey, welcome, guys. Thanks for hanging out with us this morning.
Yeah, KP. What's going on?
Hey, not much.
I'm pretty much in the light that once the ship has sailed, the ship has sailed. And the Dolphins fans ought to know this. They're glutton for punishment. Whenever we clamor for a guy, most likely 99% of the time, we will not get him. We never clamor for Tyreek Hill or Jalen Ramsey. Never was a big pounding for those guys, and those guys ended up on the roster.
But I don't think there'll be a big pounding this time, Crypto.
The moment the fan base clamors
you're
for
already
one guy,
exemplifying that right now.
it's going. That means that he's not coming for sure. That's why I never jump on the bandwagon.
No, I would tend to agree. I would tend to agree with you, Crypto. I think it's more of a long shot at this stage, but I think from our perspective as a franchise,
and plus Indianapolis is not like they're out of the division competition. He might have a change of heart because they start winning football games, and their quarterbacks start performing well enough to make a division run within their division.
They've made it clear they want to keep him there, but I think he's, reports
I think he's out of the question for the season because that
no
division
means
is in
pounding the
competition.
table for him. I think that's what Kahari and I are trying to say. Maybe it's of our opinion that we might need a guy like that to push us over the edge, but I think most of the fan base is absolutely satisfied and not thinking about the long-term future or health risks of Achane or Mostert. So I don't think there'll be a big pounding of the table for him.
Yeah, there is none. I mean, we've got to be happy with what we have.
Other than the BS me and Kahari are talking right now, but that's all it really is. You know what I mean?
It's speculation, man. It's speculative chat, man. That's all. Yeah.
Yeah, I just think Indy's probably gonna make the run that Jacksonville made at the end of the season and make a run for a last-minute playoff spot.
You think they're that strong? You think they can sustain their winning thus far? I mean, they have put forward a competitive product.
You're right.
I can't argue with the results thus far. Yeah. Big Philly, what's up, bro?
What's up, man? The defense also plays a part. Indianapolis has a really good defense as well. So.
Oh yeah. They're tough to run on.
And another team though that I would see, like kind of like a dark horse in that would be the Ravens for JT.
They lost three running back for the season, right?
And they've got about 500 of them to deal. If you looked at their roster, they've got like 20 running backs, man.
They got running backs coming out of nowhere.
Yeah, they re-signed Kenyon Drake. They got Kenyon Drake, Melvin Gordon. Man, they got every old running back you name except for Kareem Hunt.
I could definitely see
them being a dark horse. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that sneak up on somebody and grab them. Yeah.
But they got bad luck, man. The Ravens now last year was the running back position. This year, the running backs and the wide receiver group is banged up. They lost Bateman and Odell this week. So it's just going to be Zay Flowers and their other
rookie
cat.
now. They're going on solely on the rookie now. Duvernay
Duvernay. Yeah, exactly.
Last week was totally brutal. That game against Indianapolis that they lost in overtime.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, they got gypped, man. I haven't been following news out of Baltimore, but in overtime, their referees totally gypped them.
Yeah, those refs cost them that game.
Yeah.
Hey guys, they got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 running backs in Baltimore.
Yeah, because every year their running backs go down.
They got Gus Edwards, Melvin Gordon, Justice Hill, Kenyon Drake, Keaton Mitchell, J.K. Dobbins, Patrick Ricard, Owen Wright, and Ben Mason. It's like, geez, where all these running backs come from?
He just born out of it. They grabbed him off the parking lot.
Y'all want to help me build a free DFS lineup? This is the $5,000 challenge DoorDash and Clay Matthews Sunday Football Series. It's completely free on DK.
Hey, Kari. Now, when I picked up my guy in the fantasy,
Yeah, we talked about the trade earlier, Crypto. A good move, dude.
Yeah, I went on ahead and did the deal because I can get more out of Adams than I can with Lamb at this time.
Nah,
So
Adams is worth 2 receivers. Honestly, he's a stud. He's a upper tier fantasy football receiver.
And plus, I already got one of Wilson's receivers already.
I was gonna say, too bad Wilson ain't throwing to Adams.
Yeah.
No, I already got Judy on my roster.
And the good news, I think Ollie pointed this out earlier, is that Denver defense is so horrible that Russell Wilson is always going to be forced to put up big numbers.
Exactly.
Throw them back into the game. So, like you said, it's a really good pickup, man. Unfortunately, it's not going to help you this week, though. You're going to have to start 0-4.
It's a guaranteed victory this week.
No, you know who you're going up against, right? There's no way you're going to win.
You know what's interesting? You know what's interesting?
That must be going up against you.
This is total. This is total. I don't know what kind of bias you would call it, bro. But it's really interesting.
5 touchdown passes this week.
Well, it's just really interesting that the only 2 quarterbacks that are over 8,000 in salary on DraftKings is Jalen Hurts and Josh Allen. Josh Allen is 8,200 and Jalen Hurts is 8,000, right? Okay. Josh Allen is scoring 19.7 fantasy points per game this year. Jalen Hurts 20.5 respectively, right?
Right.
Kirk Cousins at 7,100.
That's cheap.
Is scoring 28.2 fantasy points.
Jeez.
That's a better bet.
Justin Herbert at 7,800 is scoring 26.1 fantasy points per game, and he's facing the team that get the 20th ranked team in fantasy points to quarterbacks in the Raiders, and they're still only getting 7,800 for him, right? And then you got Tua at 25.6 fantasy points per game is only 7,400. Why would I not run a stack with Tua right now?
Yeah, they're pushing you that way.
Stack with them.
I mean, that's got to be complete bias, bro. When it comes to looking at a quarterback like Allen or Hurts compared to these other guys, you know what I mean?
Yeah, is it bias or is it just a counter measure, a counter drag measure?
It's we know these guys are right. We know these guys at any time are physically gifted more than the other guys enough to blow up any one of their performances at any given time.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to look at their algorithm. You know what I mean? It'd be interesting to look at their algorithm to figure out how they make those kinds of decisions.
It would also be interesting if we put Josh Allen on his ass and he throws a couple interceptions this week. It'd be interesting if he finally falls below 8,000 next week.
Yeah. I mean,
it all depends on his matchup for next week, right? Don't they project it against the matchup and defense they about to play?
Of course, but sometimes it don't matter. Sometimes you got to look through that when you're building a lineup. For instance, Justin Herbert or Kirk Cousins is facing the team that gives up the 9th most amount of fantasy points, or the 9th least amount of fantasy points to quarterbacks, and that's Carolina Panthers. But I would still run a stack with Kirk Cousins because he's faced other defenses at that level the first 3 games of this season, and he's still putting up 28.2 per game. You know what I mean? Right. That's a spot where you might look through that ranking. Now, Tua, on the other hand, is playing the second ranked defense when it comes to giving up fantasy points to a quarterback. So, but it's a divisional game. The weather's great. And he could still put up those numbers. He could still blow through that ranking on their defense. You see what I'm saying?
Yep. Right.
So I'm still tempted to run a Tua stack. Now, granted, this is a free tournament, so I can be a lot more, loose than I would be if it was like a different type of tournament with other money.
$1 million tournament with $20 on the line,
or if there's only a couple people playing the tournament,
500,000 contestants.
Right. But this is a big enough tournament where it's like I'm trying to differentiate as much on like almost every position, but still get 30 points per position. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm running I'm running two combinations, two stacks with receivers, two stacks with running backs, and two stacks for all three.
Well, the hard part is, we can do both. And then which of the two or both? Do you go Tua with a double stack of Tyreek and Waddle? Do you do Tua and choose one of those with a wide receiver 3 or maybe our tight end? Or do you choose Tua with both of our running backs and just get the points by proxy off the wide receivers because you got Tua? But then again, it was an aberration last week, but what if they both eat? Right. Do you run almost a complete Miami stack?
Well, Color.
I mean, you could go
you could have last week.
Right now, should we have a private league, a TFTG private FanDuel league, a DFS league?
Either FanDuel or DraftKings, one or the other. I usually use DraftKings myself, so it's easy for me to set up a TFTG branded league under my account, maybe.
That's how I did my pick'ems.
And then we can do private tournaments basically, which are public from our perspective with the show, but private on the site. You know what I mean?
Yeah, just legally, I get. If we're going to use money under the TFTG banner,
we could probably do it free under. I think you can set up free tournaments.
Yeah, you can set up free ones.
Yeah,
where there's nothing on the line but bragging rights. You know what I mean?
Right. Now, if it's friends and family, it's something like that, then you're more comfortable, using, putting up some money and stuff like that.
Right. I wouldn't, if there was money, I wouldn't partake in the tournament myself. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know you had
that.
I know you had that question earlier, Big Philly, but yeah, those are the considerations into why we, may be a little bit more hesitant.
Yeah. Other than bragging rights, I mean, I'll set up one just for bragging rights if everybody wants to get in on a DFS tournament this week.
Yeah,
you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I get invites from people all the time. It's kind of like a whole social media network on DK. I get like invites all the time for tournaments. I'm like, no. I ain't got no money.
So Bryce Young will be back. He's starting.
Which kills all
the
Carolina Panthers fantasy players' value, by the way, Crypto.
But for instance, Kari, this tournament here, it's a free one, and the top prize is $500. If there were, people in our that watch us that wanted to get in on that tournament and say, hey, Color, I got in the same tournament, we could still compare who did better. You know what I mean?
Right. That might be a way forward in the future for both of those.
Well, I'm hoping if we do it, we throw their name around a couple times, maybe. Maybe they'll be like, "Hey, bro," and email one of us. But it'll only last so long, and then it's like, "No, call me DraftKings. I ain't gonna be freaking spitting out your free tournaments forever." You know what I mean?
We should propose that to them because a TFTG sponsored DFS league that promotes their entity.
They'll just say we're still too small. They'll just say we're still too small, which is why I don't want to just keep giving them free plugs forever.
Exactly.
But, hey guys, hit the like button, share this freaking thing out, subscribe, help us grow to the size where DraftKings will be wanting to do business with us and give you all some incentive to play every week with us.
Hey, do we have Mr.
All
Park
get rich
in the back?
together.
Is Mr. Park and Amicus in the back, Color? I think they maybe try to get up.
I'm so sorry, guys. I'm on my phone today, and I'm the only one right now, and it doesn't always chime loud enough for me to hear it. Hold on a second. Sorry about that. Thanks for
what's up, Mr. Polk? What's going on?
Hey, morning, guys. Morning, fellas.
Good morning, Color, KP.
Oh, damn, it's
Big
afternoon
Philly.
already. Shit.
Yeah, good afternoon.
My bad. Good afternoon.
Yeah.
And Amicus, I haven't seen you in a while. It's good to see you, my brother. You're a Bills fan, but you're one of my favorite ones.
Hey, you too, my friend. It's good to see you, man.
Oh, this guy again.
Hey, Amicus survived the top secret mission in the Holy Land, so man, you got to respect him for that.
Hey, Amicus, I was wondering how many plays are other coaches taken from McDermott or from Dorsey?
Oh, no clue. But hey, Color, I wanted to tell you, I watched El Cap's film breakdown last night, and in light of watching that film breakdown, I think that we're completely fucked and we have no chance.
We thought you'd see it our way.
Yeah.
And Amicus, when is Josh Allen going to be leading up the YMCA club? How many more years?
2 weeks. I think we agreed on 2 weeks, Crypto.
2 weeks? Okay, I'm just double checking. I figured we haven't given our updates on Josh Allen's YMCA career.
2 years in a row, we're going to face them in our first game where they have no safeties. So it'll be party time for us.
So since he donated $2, appreciate you. I'll go ahead and read his name properly. Josh Allen is the next Favre says, time for some wings and pizza. How is everyone? How you doing? Josh Allen is the next.
I know, isn't it time for some wings and pizza? I gotta put it in my order.
You better do it right now because college game's on and the pro game's tomorrow.
Yes, sir. Hey, but thanks for the donation, bro. Appreciate you. Hey, man, if anybody has any fantasy questions, man, we're still open for fantasy talk. So
I got a proposed trade for you, Kahari. I'm gonna give you my defensive safety, and you give me your starting running back.
Sounds like a plan, Crypto. Sounds like a plan.
I have a question,
It's an even swap.
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Good morning.
What's up, Josh Allen?
What's up, Abacus? You had a question?
So you have a fantasy football league that's going on right now within TFTG, or is it?
Yeah, it's the TFTG official fantasy football league for this season. Yeah, it's a weekly fantasy football league, 20 teams deep, custom lineup. You know, we got some points editing that's made it ultra competitive. Yeah, absolutely. What's up?
Right on. Who has Josh Allen in the league?
I think
nobody.
Aquavision.
Nobody.
Doesn't Aqua got him?
Okay.
I think Aqua got him.
I don't know. Kahari, you want to pull up everybody's bench?
Yeah, pull up
the
bench.
You gotta go way down to the bottom for him, man. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, Color. Hey, Color. I had a question. Do you think if the Jets, for instance, or the Bears have the number 1 pick, do you think Caleb Williams is just going to stay in school?
Probably.
Yeah.
That's crazy, dude.
I hope
that happens to Jets
not
fans, dude.
necessarily, because he could still. They could be like, well, F you then, and move off of him, and unless he's determined to be the number 1 guy, then I don't know. That's kind of stupid.
His dad has been pretty outspoken on interviews I've heard, talking about that very possibility, or at least hinting that it might become a reality, that he would sit out, you know?
I mean, he's still running the risk of not going number 1 next year because of that.
Right.
Yeah, I think... Wasn't it Peyton Manning? He literally stayed his senior year, and I think Andrew Luck did the same thing because they didn't want to go to the Jets.
Okay.
Hey, I want to piggyback on something that y'all mentioned earlier. It's not about fantasy football when y'all have a chance.
Sure. Hold on 1 second, Mr. Paul. I'm sharing the screen right now. I don't know if you can see this, Miss Amicus. I don't know if you can see this, but Josh Allen is the quarterback on a team in our league called Guardians of the End Zone. They're 1-2, proving the fact that Josh Allen is non-effective in producing a winner in both real football and fantasy football.
Yeah, well, he's owned fantasy football the past 3 years, but this year he's balanced. So he's not a great pick for fantasy this year.
Yeah, that's called mediocre.
So you say.
So you're saying Josh Allen is the next Kyle Trask?
He doesn't push the needle, Crypto. He cannot push the needle.
So, I kind of thought that.
Yet somehow still commanding over 8,000 on DraftKings. I mean, what a bunch of suckers out there, man.
Well, I think they
I
think
could
that he's
eat
going to
my
put
own
in the
words. You know, the odds makers are the ones I think that set those prices. Basically,
Color,
that's kind of what they're aggregated off of. You know what I mean?
But Color, you know what it is? A lot of these people, especially even people that gamble, they don't pay attention to like someone like you or other people on here to the specifics. Like anyone that was coming into the season that wanted Allen in fantasy, I wouldn't have drafted him because once they were going to those 2 tight end sets, I knew they were going to change their offense. It wasn't just
and there would be a limitation on his numbers. There'd be a cap on his numbers. Yep.
Yeah. So but a lot of people don't pay attention to a lot of that stuff, man. They just, you know what I mean? They'll see a name and then that's it.
But Vegas still has his MVP odds, up there, and it's because they believe that he's going to have to put on the cape eventually, and he might have to.
The MVP,
Well, that's what I'm saying. And when that happens, even though he's expensive, he'll be low owned. And so that can still be helpful to somebody, even though they have to do other moves and make other magic somewhere else because of the price.
And Amicus, if we're being honest, right, just to keep it real, I mean, Josh Allen is a Super Bowl competitive quarterback, and that's what the vision is for him, right? A reduction in numbers to ensure a chance of greater success.
Exactly.
So, unfortunately for you, it's not going to happen. So.
What do you guys think? Let's say Tua has like an incredible year, like 50 touchdown passes, 4,500 yards, 5,000 yards, like just ridiculous numbers. But Tyreek Hill, I think it should be Tua. That's just my answer. But let's say Tyreek Hill he sets all kinds of records, like 2,500 yards receiving, 25 touchdowns. Who do you think? Do you think they'll give the MVP to Tyreek Hill?
2,500 is a lot for one receiver. I tell you that much.
If he gets 2,500 yards, he will be the MVP.
Yeah,
I mean,
he will. Yeah, I think that will be enough to clinch it for him.
They would still give it to the quarterback.
Yeah, it's a quarterback award, but I hope they would still give it to Tua.
Yeah, they need to start making it more player centric and not quarterback centric.
Yeah. But there's already an offensive player of the year. That's kind of like the wide receiver or running back.
Yeah. Yeah, but you know what, Mike McDaniel.
That also could be a quarterback too.
This team already had a chance to set records last week, and we chose not to. So I think that was a valuable lesson for our team. I mean, to avoid the trophy hunting in a sense for individual accomplishments and to focus on that Super Bowl as the main goal this year.
Yeah, but that was a team accomplishment.
Yeah, you could argue that, because
scoring, that's a team. Yeah, that
I ain't gonna lie though. If Tua gets the MVP, Bills fans are gonna be salty. If Tua gets the MVP before Allen does, Bills fans are gonna be salty, dude.
Well, he's on.
Can I ask Josh and Amicus a question?
Go ahead, man.
How is it that y'all two are easy to talk to than Mark K and okay?
Well, Michael K his IQ is borderline around 70, and he's an alcoholic. So,
borderline 70, like 69 and a half or something like that.
Yeah, Color brings Michael K around just for entertainment. So
you got to take those guys with a grain of salt. They're characters, and that's it.
I honestly think Michael K. No, listen. This is my theory. This is my theory, though, on Michael K. I actually think he's El Capitan.
Just a sec, Josh. I think, in all reality, I think Mr. Polk, believe it or not, I would imagine, and this is my own opinion, judging by what I know about him, I bet Michael K. actually respects the hell out of Mr. Polk. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. I'm just kidding. Yeah.
Like,
no, I mean,
when you hear him say things to everybody, but when it comes to people like Mr. Polk, I bet like the real Michael K. probably respects the hell out of you, dude.
Right, that's why he's a character. The real Michael K. is probably a sweetheart, but he's a character, bro.
No, he's an asshole,
nice guy,
but he's an endearing asshole.
Yeah.
Well, let me put it this way. When it comes down to the Bills fans, because Amicus, you were the first one I came across, and you're a pretty nice guy. Josh, you're the last one I came across, and you seem to be a pretty good guy. I'm not putting down Michael K. He's a good person too, but Mark, man, I can't deal with Mark. I just can't deal with Mark. Man. I'm sorry. I just can't deal with him.
But
My
Michael K,
patience is
you could
very
say
short
Tua
on him.
has like if you said Tua had 53 touchdown passes and 4,900 yards, and they won 13 games, but then he would just say, "Oh, it's McDaniel." That's what Michael K would say.
Right, exactly. But that I can deal
And
with
Mark,
that.
hey,
It's just
Mr. Falk,
marketing.
like a couple of us, and I appreciate the compliment. You know, like use a little bit of discretion. You can tell, like the nice people, like you're a really nice guy, right? So, like I've gone hard on people before, but like I wouldn't go hard on you because of who you are, right? So, but guys like Mark, man, they have tunnel vision. It's all about the stats and the numbers, and they stay in their lane, and there's no discretion. So you're not going to see that soft side from a guy like Mark or Michael K. Honestly, to be honest
And
with you.
Is that,
also,
is that what's called a technocrat?
what was that?
Wasn't Mark a
But
former Dolphins fan?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah, he was.
he admits it.
I think
But
he just says that just to troll you guys, though.
yeah.
No, he grew up a
But
Dolphins
I
fan.
can easily chat with you guys, man. I can chat and
But he
learn
says he
from.
treats it's a troll though. He says, "Oh, I was a Dolphins fan, and then when the Bills got Jim Kelly, I switched teams."
Well, I can tell you, he looks. I can tell you, I've seen his face a couple times. He looks like a Packers fan. Just saying.
Are you saying he has a cheese head?
That's right. I keep forgetting about the
Color, who was the guy you said looked like Michael K? Like if you were envisioning Michael K, who was the guy you said he looked like?
I forget, but it was funny.
Michael K to me looks like who's that cat that's married to that Kristen Bell chick in Hollywood?
I can't. I couldn't tell you.
Dak Shepard. To me, Michael K looks like Dak Shepard after a dozen donuts. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Oh man.
Anybody got any business questions?
I want to piggyback on something that Colin and KP were talking about earlier. When it comes down to our running back roster, I agree with you guys. I'm not really what's the word? Excited about getting out there because when you really look at the roster, we have today's and we have the future running back because you got the future running backs let me make sure I say it right. A-Chan and the possibility of Chris Brooks. Then when you look at the veteran side of it, you got Mustard,
Amen.
and the possibility of Jeff Wilson because I really don't see Jeff Wilson being back on there.
Yeah.
Hey, the Dolphins are very deep at running back.
Oh my God!
He's wide open. That's gonna be a touchdown, USC.
Who was that yelling?
Wow.
Did you see that throw by Caleb?
Yeah, Caleb Williams just threw a freaking ridiculous whistle.
I want to know why.
He's definitely the number one
What
pick.
possessed me to put $20 on plus 21.5?
You took the points with Colorado?
I did, man. I just figured they bounced back from the Oregon debacle.
Well, it's still. I mean, 20. That's a massive.
We got a chance to win a buck.
I was thinking the same thing, and because I was thinking that they were going to bounce back on USC, but not on them. So
yeah, I didn't think they would win, but I mean, just cover the spread.
The thing is, though, like, let's see how that's a smart bet because Colorado USC's defense isn't that good. So if as the game goes on, they might be able to get within the points.
In fact, what is
Mr. Park,
USC ranking?
Mr. Park.
Yes.
Mr. Park.
Yes, sir.
Going back on your point, going back on your question, though. I mean, these are good problems to have, right? And the discussion I was trying to frame earlier was, aside from all the good vibes and good feeling that you have for the team right now, right? What an astute GM, a Super Bowl championship winning GM, will he be willing to risk like some short-term aggravation from the fan base and disrupting this happy family to make a move that ultimately will be the winning move down the line? I think that's where the discussion is. It's indicative of the fact that it's a good problem. Do you risk? You exchange potential greatness for good. It's a classic good for greatness
Right,
argument.
right. Take, for instance, tomorrow's game, which wouldn't be in play anyway, even if we had Jonathan Taylor. But take tomorrow's game, for instance. I think, how would you feel, Amicus, if we had Jonathan Taylor on our squad going into tomorrow?
Well, I mean,
would you feel a little bit more different?
You bring up let me say this, because I wanted to touch on what Kahari said too. So let me answer it this way. Initially, I would think, oh shit, that's not good, right? But there might be something to this whole like look at Josh Jacobs, man. What the fuck happened to that cat? You know what I mean?
But what I'm saying, I'm not talking about like we just brought him in this week and he's just now part of our squad. I'm saying if he'd have been with us throughout camp and all that, and he's on our squad,
yeah.
How you feeling about tomorrow? You know what I mean?
Yes, it's a harder game.
What we did last week.
Right, but my point I'm trying to make is what if the truth is all these running backs really are all the same and it's all dependent on the schemes and the offensive line?
Could be.
Well,
look at Josh Jacobs. He looks like he doesn't know how to play running back anymore.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. But this is where, your talent evaluation, your belief in a player's talents would have to be the rubric. You know what I'm saying? Is Jonathan Taylor a generational talent at running back? I think he is, which is why I'm even entertaining the question. I think he's a Christian McCaffrey type. He's far and above better than anything that's out there. And so he may be worth rolling the dice. I may be wrong. I may be overestimating his ability. It may end up that his foot injury or whatever it was has hamstrung him, has capped his talent. So that is definitely a possibility. But that's why they pay those guys the big bucks, and they haven't hired me.
What about
as GM?
What about Aaron? What about Aaron Donald at the trade deadline?
Yeah, on a 1-year deal, that's something that you might do. A disruptive force like that could definitely help your push. It's like a Von Miller type move, to give you an example from a Buffalo Bill perspective, right? When you guys signed him to try to put you over the top, right? So it'd be that kind of a move. And yeah, I'll be open to that on a short-term basis. I don't know how much gas he has left in the tank, though.
Would it take a first round? Do you think you guys say it would take a first round pick?
No, not right now. I don't think so.
No, but I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind on Eric because really we need more help on the defensive line than we do at running back. So I would make him, like I say, a 1-year deal with him as possible because we need help on the defensive line because we're kind of thin there.
Aaron Donald potential move would be like a classic cherry on the top scenario. If you make a move like that, you are as a team saying more than we're all in and we're going for it. We're all chips on the table. We're rolling the dice. It is now or never. And hey, are we that? Looks like it right now, but it's still early.
Yeah, you put Aaron Donald on some defense.
Hold up, do we have the rabid dolphin in the house? It's fresh off of vacation.
Yes,
is that rabid dolphin I see?
Yeah, yes, sir. Yes,
what
sir.
Go on,
yes,
my
sir.
G?
What's going on?
What up?
Tropicana.
They treating you out there in Vegas.
We had the Tropicana. There's the MGM Grand.
Yep. Yeah, Tropicana is right next to the what's the place? The one I stayed at, right next to it, the Excalibur.
The Excalibur is right.
Yeah, it should be right there. And then you got New York. Yep.
Yeah, New York. MGM Grand. Yeah, we outside, man. How y'all boys doing?
Hey, chilling, man. Chopping it up on
Another day in paradise, man.
There it is, man.
Talking about our favorite subject, the Dolphins.
Hey, so is this Aaron Donald thing? Y'all talking about more fantasy, or you talking about like real life? Because what do you think?
Real life.
Okay, so what do you guys think? Like a trade deadline move for Aaron Donald for whatever team, Dolphins, Buffalo, whoever. What do you think that compensation looks like going back to the Rams?
That'd be way too much.
The Von Miller one was a second. They were the same age. It was a second and third round pick. I think the Rams gave up. So it's probably going to be something around that type of compensation.
Yeah. It may
Second
take
round.
it may take a
I think
first
Cooper
round
Cup's going to be traded too. I think Cooper Cup's going to be traded at the deadline too, if I had to guess.
Not unless they turn the season around.
Yeah, because that's what I'm saying. The Rams, I mean, listen, they only have one win on the season, but the season's still young. They've been competitive in all of their games.
Right. That's what I'm saying. These teams could turn their season around. It's still a
So,
long season.
yeah, I don't know, depending on how their season goes, I don't think they're going to be moving off of guys. I could be wrong, though.
I'm with you on that. Because a lot of people gonna think what happened with Jacksonville last year, how everybody was counting them out, and then next thing you know, some things bounce their way. Tennessee get injured, and they go on the streak. Teams can think about second half turnarounds.
But
and
that's
keep
fool's
getting
gold.
away.
Look at Jacksonville now.
Didn't
but it's still
Detroit
3
do that
games
last
in.
year too?
It's still early though, man. I mean, we don't. You know what I mean? We're not going to have any real true idea about a lot of these teams. Like even as a bit, like until Thanksgiving. And when Thanksgiving is when you really start to find out who's who.
Yeah, it's still so early.
Right.
But hey, gentlemen, I've had a great
That's true.
time today with you guys on the Fantasy Football Show. Color, unfortunately, I gotta get out of here. Lou, Crypto,
problem, man.
the whole gang. Man, it's a pleasure as always, guys. Salute to
Yeah,
all of you.
KP.
Yes, sir.
Hey,
Thank you for firing it up for us, man.
Crypto, you're
Yep.
going down this weekend, bro. There's nothing you can do about it, man.
You're dead in the water,
Let
KP.
them know,
You're dead
KP.
wrong.
Russell
Put him to
Wilson
sleep.
will not slave you, bro. Russell
Put
Wilson
him
will
to
not
sleep.
slave you.
He's
Put him to
gonna.
sleep, KP.
Don't gas him up, Lewis, because Russell Wilson's throwing 7 touchdowns this weekend.
Put him to sleep, KP.
You
Hey,
heard it. You heard it this weekend.
yeah.
That may be the only 7 touchdowns he throw all season, but he's getting it in this weekend.
But thanks for coming through, you guys. Next week, same time, same place, 11 a.m. Fantasy Football Forecast right here on the TFTG network.
Yes, thank you, sir.
All right, KP.
Like KP.
Killing
And I will
Cougars.
certainly keep this panel going a little longer if people want to. I don't have much to do right this very second. Shake is also calling the Florida game.
Tyler, are you getting anything special cooked up
I
for the
feel
game
sorry
tomorrow?
for Take Money.
What do you mean for
Hey.
food?
Yes, for food.
Oh no. I'm just gonna. Nah, I usually don't get. Oh yeah, actually I am. Mom's coming over. We're gonna cook up a big pot of chili.
That's what
I'm
I'm
having
talking
some
about.
sushi.
Chilling a while.
Chili Fest.
Yeah. It's gonna. Man, that's one thing I love is chili, man.
You need some Ben and
Same here.
Jerry's, man.
And I like
You
it.
put sour
Barbecue
cream in the
and
chili? Hey,
spicy.
Tyler, do you
yeah.
put sour cream in your chili?
I do on my
He's
plate.
saying Ben and Jerry's.
I don't
Ben chili
put
bowl.
it in like the pot or nothing, but I put it in on my plate. Sometimes you have to, as hot as I make it. I like a real hot chili, hot as you can make it.
I mean, Ben's chili bowl is real good. You ought to try it. You come up here to DC, you'll be able to try Ben's chili bowl.
Yeah, they don't have many chili places. Like I haven't found any around here or even in Missouri. But yeah, if they got them up there, I'll certainly visit if I ever go there.
Probably gotta go to Texas, get some good.
All the presidents have visited it. Most of them, at least most of them, that's a spot they go to whenever they get inaugurated.
And Mr. Polk's right too. I just got to visit Texas. Probably they do have a place out in Arizona. A couple places actually that have good bowls of chili, but they're not like that's their only thing. But they're like really, really good bowls of chili.
I think Texas specializes in as far as how spicy the chili gets. The levels, the different levels.
Yeah, you gotta have
some
sour
of these
cream in
places
the chili.
Some of these places you got to sign. I think you guys put if you eating the very spicy chili, you got to sign some kind of paper saying that they're not responsible for anything that happens to you.
Oh, the waivers. Yeah.
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 Now that's a hot chili. That's
Yeah,
exactly
if
the
you
kind
gotta
of
sign
chili
a
I
waiver,
want.
that's a hot chili.
I want to sign a waiver for my chili. That's right.
Well, it's a show that comes on. I forgot what channel. I think it's called Food Paradise or something like that. And they one time showed different places that serve spicy foods. And this one restaurant where this guy makes a spicy actually because of the peppers that they use, he has to actually wear like a face mask or what have because the fumes from the peppers being so hot when he makes it, I mean, will actually run you out the kitchen or even worse. So
That's the
okay,
Carolina
so I
Reaper.
just
Right. So Mr. Polk's sitting there watching TV all day going, and he's like, Mrs. Crazy Dolphin, give me some plane tickets. We going to Texas.
nah, I can't eat the spicy food. But I watch it because my dad used. Oh my goodness, he loves spicy food, so he used to go and get all kind of peppers and he'll make him he'll make it and then he'll make another version for people like myself who can't bother with the spicy food.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's a
Mr.
pretty
Paul.
good
The
Jamaican
ghost
chili too.
the
What's
ghost
that?
pepper and the Carolina Reaper will make you
Yeah.
put on a
These things are
fucking
killer,
suit.
bro.
Mm-hmm.
I can
As
Popeye's
long as
got
you
understand
don't
ghost
that.
pop
pepper
it,
wings.
cook with that thing in there. Just don't let it pop, man.
Yeah. So the ghost pepper in the Carolina, you say are the hottest one,
Well,
Alex?
the ghost pepper used to be the hottest in the world before a few years back. Then the Carolina Reaper took his
Oh,
place.
So
okay.
Ollie's has this coffee that's gonna have has Carolina Reaper in it.
Nah, see, I love my coffee, man. We can't be doing that. We can't do it with chili and can't do it with coffee.
I would
I'm
say
telling you,
Africans
bro.
can't do it.
Uh,
Keep it plain. Keep it plain and simple. Don't add nothing hot to it.
And like Chili's don't even make a bad bowl of chili. The problem is they don't serve any sour cream in the freaking place.
yeah.
Like they literally don't have any sour cream in the place.
Well,
Like how do you serve chili and you don't have sour cream?
It doesn't make any
because
sense at all.
well, I hate to
It's a
tell you, but
travesty. It's a travesty.
not too many. Not it's certain place. I think certain regions where you go to it in the states where the chili. Because I'm gonna tell you, I was raised up on chili, but my mom used to make a big never put sour cream in it, and then also some of the restaurants down here don't put sour cream with their chili. Even when they have chili, I mean it's not real chili, but the main thing you use with chili if it's too hot is you
Sour
drink
cream.
some milk behind it or something like that.
Right. Well,
Milk.
the sour cream makes it creamier too, but because if it's hot, it'll go right through that sour cream if it's hot enough. You know what I mean? But like Steak and Shake too. They serve a bowl of chili, but they don't have no sour cream in their joint either. I'm like, what's wrong with people in
I think
sour cream, man? Like, what is it?
Well,
Like,
they should at least offer it as a
I
side option.
right, like one of those little triangular
mhm.
paper pouches,
Yeah.
Even though that sour cream is nasty anyway.
Good grief, 21-0.
Hmm.
Taco Bell has
Oh
sour
my
cream.
goodness.
You know why? Because they got tacos.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, they do have sour cream in their
Yeah,
food.
that's what the taco supreme is. The word supreme is for the sour cream.
Hey, what do you got? What
Exactly.
is going to happen? Because I've been thinking about this for a few weeks. I've asked this: what's going to happen if Russell Wilson just doesn't snap out of it or whatever, or he's playing kind of halfway decent, but it doesn't justify the contract? Yep. Is it kind of like what are they going to do?
They tried to trade him with a contract and hope to find a sucker.
That's
Yeah.
crazy. I don't think that's
Try
going to
to
happen,
convince
man.
somebody that it just wasn't right here.
Yeah.
Although, where else are you going to be right but the thinnest there in the country? I
Yeah,
mean,
but if you trade,
his 60-yard bombs become 80-yard bombs.
Didn't
Yeah.
they give up
but
like three
if you
first
were to
round
trade him,
picks and
where
like
would he go?
multiple players? It's ridiculous, man.
Where would he go if I'm just saying if talks of trade was to come up, where would he go?
I don't know, man. It's just
There's a couple of court like Deshaun Watson too, man. That contract, man, listen, man, Deshaun's not going to be the same.
He was better last week. I will give him that. He was
He's
a little better.
a little better, but
Yeah.
Once
not worth
again, you gotta wait
230
one
million
full.
guaranteed better.
Amicus though,
Yeah,
the thing
to
is,
make
let's
an
say Watson's
evaluation,
if
you got to
Watson's like
wait one full
85%,
season.
if Watson's like 85% of what he was, that roster is pretty loaded, dude. The Browns, that's a dangerous football team.
That division is gonna be competitive with them. Browns ain't gonna be cellar dwellers no more.
There's only one man in the NFL that deserves 250 million guaranteed, and it's Mahomes. 2 MVPs, 2 Super Bowls, right? Like you just can't give that contract to somebody, and the fact that he might not even be good anymore, shit.
I tell anybody, be careful of the Detroit Lions.
That's an
They're
interesting football
black
team.
horse. Yeah, they're very interesting, and they up at any time.
Josh Allen's contract, it looks real good right now. It's not even top 10.
Josh Allen is
All of those
out of
contracts gonna be
Wyoming, right?
looked
Or
at as being
Wisconsin.
cheap in the next couple of years, anyways.
What Wyoming or Wisconsin?
Wyoming, yeah, Wyoming Cowboys.
Okay, so I think I remember seeing him a few times before he made it to the pros.
Hmm.
That's why I like watching college football. I would try to watch many games as possible because you never know who's gonna pop up on your team or other teams. I just love football. Just love it.
It's going to be interesting because like the quarterback class that's coming out next year, it might be the best ever.
Whoa!
It's just going to get harder and harder.
Williams,
in the Super Bowl.
whoever land him,
What happened, Crypto?
they're gonna have a pretty good future, especially with a team that's right on the cusp, and they like one quarterback away.
Do you guys think the Drake May kid from North Carolina is overrated, or do you think he's really good?
No, he's really good. Now, he's NFL ready right now. He can start.
Quinn Ewers is good too, man.
Yeah.
It's a good class coming up. Them top 3 teams or the top 10, they might all go in the top 10.
Yeah, Caleb should be number 1. Drake May should be number 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know Drake May is not really playing lights out right now, but he's also on the Tar Heels. You know, his game will translate to the NFL very well.
Yeah, May.
Small.
So I'm trying to scour the chat for any
quarterbacks
fantasy questions before we close it down. Let's see. V21 says, "Damn, somebody check on Shake. What's going on in the Florida game?"
Uh-oh.
I said I feel sorry for Shake coming up.
Because this
You
Colorado
gotta do a
game ain't
wellness
looking
check on
too
him.
good. So let me check on the Florida game.
Yeah, so.
Hey, Color, was that your idea to put next to my tag name, Dick Pics and all with Brett Favre?
Oh, there you go, Colorado. One time.
That was either Color or El Capitan. It was one of those two guys.
So the Joker says, full PPR, pick 2. Raheem Mostert, Devon Achan, Brandon Ayuk, Jacob Myers, Jerome Ford, Alexander Madison. Well, Jerome Ford is being used in a nice little short motion roll, sort of like we use Tyreek. So he might be productive. Obviously, Raheem Mostert and Achan. I mean, yeah. But also, I was looking at Jacoby Myers myself. I don't have the team right off the top of my head because it was just a quick thought earlier. I stuck him on one of those free lineups. But let me look him up real quick because I want to make sure I don't want to speak on it without being.
Why you doing
What
that,
a
color? It's 16. It's 16-0 Kentucky.
Oh, that ain't too bad.
Oh, damn.
That ain't
And
too bad.
man, they
Colorado
gashing.
just scored
They gashing the
21-7.
Gators. Good grief.
Let's see. Where are you at,
Kentucky
Jacoby?
4-0.
Yeah, Florida is ranked.
So you got Jacoby Myers on DFS
Yeah.
is at 5,300. He's facing the Chargers in a divisional game against the Raiders. He plays for the Raiders, so he's got Garoppolo throwing to him. Both of those guys are from New England with Josh McDaniels. He's been scoring, believe it or not, 22.3 fantasy points per game in DFS. And I was kind of looking at him as an outside little mid-level, mid-money sleeper because he's going for 5,300, but he's facing the Chargers, who are 31st in the league in giving up fantasy points to wide receivers. So
It's so weird, man. I would before the season started, I thought the Chargers defense was going to be really good.
well, it doesn't mean they're not. It just means they give up the most fantasy points to wide receivers.
I'm just saying. I remember I told you, Color, after that Dolphins game,
Yeah.
I was watching highlights and I was zeroing in on Bosa. Man, he don't look right, dude. He don't look the same.
Mm-hmm.
That's because of Staley, man. Staley don't know what the hell he's doing.
So I'm not like
How I feel about Philadelphia.
I'm not a perfect say on everything in the Joker, but appreciate the question, and I hope that might have helped answer something for you or add something to your calculus or something. Let us know next week or Monday how you did on that. But if you guys ain't, I gotta run because we wanted to keep this about fantasy and all that. If we'll probably do a panel later on. Anyway.
I gotta run. I gotta hurry up and get ready for work. I'll see you guys
Shake
later.
Money is running is calling the Florida game right now. If you want to still hang with the Finns tailgate, you can go over to Shake Money right now and join him watching the Florida Gators and Kentucky Wildcats.
All right, Color.
Give him a shout out, help him get them back from that 16-0 deficit. Sure, man. Appreciate you guys coming to Two Bills fans. You were quite amicable.
I'll take it here. Take care now.
Take it easy, guys.
All right, guys.
All right, y'all.
Mr. Polk, you got anything for us, man?
No, they just say a prayer for the Gators because man, they about to get scolded on again. So
I'm gonna go over there. I got to do a wellness check on Shake Money.
Right.
Yeah,
Well, let's go join him and give him some moral support. I'm a Canes fan, but it sucks when your Florida team loses.
Yeah.
But anyway, you guys have a great one. I'm just gonna end the show with you guys up here. You get the privilege today. You get the big time privilege. No, just kidding. All righty. So everybody, like and share, subscribe. You know the drill. Support us if you could. We appreciate you all. Fins up. We're looking for a great game tomorrow, one way or another. And yeah, let's get a win, guys. We're out. As soon as I find the outro, we're out. Later, guys.